It's all good. Oh.
Hi guys, welcome to the latest edition of Face to Face. And tonight it's my pleasure to welcome Grazza Gates onto the show. Grazza, thanks for joining us.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
So, how did you get into wrestling initially?
Well, when I was about 4 years old, I was living with my nan and granddad. So it was me, my mum, my brother, my nan and granddad. And after mum was split, we went to live with them for a year. And I remember Friday night sitting on the sofa with my granddad and he had a jar of pickled onions in his arm. And he switched over to Channel 5 and it was the WCW.
All right.
So I literally just was hooked to the whole thing the whole time. And then Sunday it would be WWF Heat. And ever since then I loved it. I got my first ever wrestling figure at 4. The wrestling, the whole piece set, and I always wanted to be a wrestler. And I'm just glad I've managed to get there.
Yeah, no, great show Heat was. So that kind of answer. Were you a fan growing up?
Oh, massive fan, definitely. Like it was. Even today, I'm a massive fan. I literally, even now, from when I was 4 up until now, I live, breathe, sleep, speak, eat, rest. It's a hobby. It's an obsession. I must probably drive people nuts because I probably talk about it too much, but oh well. That's just me, But no, I've always been a massive fan, massive supporter of it all. And it's just even as an obsession, even when you're older, you reach that teenage years and you love wrestling, you get teased a little bit, but even there's the fact I'm part of like a wrestling community where we're all in the same boat, so I'm not alone.
So, who was your first favourite wrestler?
Oh, I'd have to say my first favourite wrestler was The Rock. The Rock, man. Rock all the way. And Shawn Michaels as well. I remember and Shawn Michaels, I never actually saw this on the first time watching him. The first time seeing Shawn Michaels as well was he was a special guest referee. And commentators mentioned he was a wrestler in the past, and it's just his charisma, the way he would jive around and show off his muscles and just smile and make people happy. He was the sort of guy I also wanted to be like, so have that sort of charisma about me.
So, how did you actually get into British wrestling, like at the start of your career?
Well, when I was finished off my level 3 college course, I clicked on a British wrestling link at Preston City Wrestling it was a match between Rockstar Spud and Martin Kirby. And I remember several years before that, I went to British wrestling show in Kettering. It was, as a kid, it was like, it was very different to PCW in that the show what I was at several years before was so much different because it was so crowd orientated, like people my age or older, like 30, were going to these shows and really getting into it. And the match that Spud and Kirby both put on, I was just fascinated by it all. The atmosphere, the interaction with the crowd, Spud being a bit of a pain in the backside, Kirby being Kirby, and I look at guys like Travis, Kirby, Spud. So many great have inspired me to take that step. I was watching this and thinking, I really, pretty much put the ambition into being wanted to be a professional wrestler, because I sort of put off the idea up until I watched that. So I thought, I'll go to a wrestling school. I found a wrestling school in Peterborough called Full House Wrestling.
Oh.
2013 up until about 2018. Then after that, I started training at the Elevation School from 2018 to present with Joseph Connors. Full House Wrestling was by Snare. I was trained by Snare originally. So, yeah.
So we actually lost part of your answer there when you were talking about Full House.
Yeah, I started training there in 2013. I wasn't driving at the time, so I said to my mum, I really want to try a bit. I really want to give this a go. You know, would you be possible like to drive me? She backed me all the way. She drove me to training every week, drove me to shows every time until I got my own car. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm really grateful for the fact she supported me in that. So yeah, I basically rang Full House Wrestling a few weeks before that. Snare at the time answered the phone. Got a session set up. It was literally just me and this other guy training, so just the two of us at the time. And it was free. Then a week after that, J.K. Roberts joined, and a week after that, a guy called Joshua Bend, and it was basically like almost like our own little group. So you obviously had the clique. I was like the Full House Wrestling clique in a way. It's nice to be part. I like to think it's a nice little group we're a part of. Then even now, we're all still in contact. We're all still really close.
Yeah, we actually. I don't know if you've seen it, but I actually interviewed J.K. Roberts the other day.
Yeah, I saw bits of that.
Yeah. So, what was your first ever match?
My first ever match was at an academy show, September 2014. I faced a guy, Burns, and I won the match by locking him out of the venue. I threw him through the fire exit doors, slammed the doors, and won by count out. Yeah, I've got to be honest with you. That show, it put the things. I'll tell you what, that show at the time I was going through a lot mental health wise. This personal situation in my life. I'm not going to do some details about it, but I was thinking to myself, the whole time I was going on, I was thinking, I can't wait for my first match. I can't wait for my first match. Anything I've got on the system, I'm just going to let it all out and just whatever I've got to do. I'll take a beating, give a beating, whatever I've got to do. After my first match, I just collapsed behind the curtains. I took a massive kick to the gut, which wounded me. I took so much shots to the chest. I gave a few shots myself, but afterwards I felt so refreshed. I felt almost like a new person. It was a really, really weird feeling. I was much better about myself. Wrestling gave me a lot of self-confidence, brought me up my show a lot more, especially my first. Really thankful for that. Really thankful. So I sort of went off and won a little bit there.
That's all right. So what's been your favourite match? Start off with your career and then we'll go overall.
Oh, many great matches in my career. Okay?
Yeah. Sorry, it cut out again.
That's okay. Yeah, I've had so many great matches in my career. I think a couple of two matches. Well, the first one was for the Full House Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. I qualified for a tournament for the vacated championship. In that match, it was me against Robert Sharp, against Big Mike Wild, against Blake, against Voodoo, and I think the last mystery opponent for that match was Styx. So I was looking across all these bigger five guys. I was thinking, this is unbelievable. Like 2 years ago, I was a weedy little, and now I'm a slightly less weedier guy again for the Full House Wrestling Championship. That was absolutely unreal. And then we went on like several months later. I got my act together and the fans started cheering for me because before the fans booed me. Don't really blame them. They started cheering for me. We got on the same page, me and the fans. And shortly after that, I won the Full House Wrestling Ascension Championship from Snare, which is on YouTube. That was an amazing match, a street party as well. That was an emotional victory as well. Then I've got a personal series of matches I've had has been against J.K. Roberts. Me and J.K. we've done almost every single match together. We've done street fight, submission, 3 stages of hell with those 2 matches, a normal match. We've done triple threats, felt 4 ways, 5-way, 6-way, tagged against each other, tagged with each other, 6-man tag against each other, 6-man tag with each other, 8-man tag against, 8-man with, and we've done up and down the country together. So that's been a big adventure with him. A massive series of matches, and I just hope there's with the Full House Wrestling Ascension Championship on the shoulder when we get back to one more great match against JK.
So I get you actually cut out there for a second. Right.
Sorry.
No, that's right. So is there anyone you haven't faced that you really want to on the British scene?
Who would I really love to face? Well, obviously there's my trainer Joseph Connors. I would love to work him one day. Great guy. I would say Martin Kirby, but he's sadly retired. He was a good, like my inspiration. Wouldn't mind facing Rockstar Spudboy these days. Who else? But yeah, any big name that's inspired me, I'd love to face them. You know, bring him on, man. Let's say Elevation Wrestling has brought some really big names in. You know, and I've worked in Rumbles with some.
Oh,
Yeah, I had the chance to work against Brady Phillips as well. He's a great up and comer as well. I had a chance to work against him. I hope there's more names to come.
yeah. I've heard a lot about Brady Phillips. Actually, I've only actually seen him twice. I think both in Stevenage.
Yeah, so
And
absolutely talented guy.
yeah, only young as well, isn't he?
Mm.
But so that was who you want to face. Who's been your toughest opponents?
My toughest opponents. Oh man, I had the pleasure of facing a guy called. Oh man, who could I think of? My toughest opponent, Snare. He was a guy who I tried to get that belt off many times, I couldn't. One guy that gave me a challenge and got my head back into the game properly. It was a guy called Colt Miles. We had a match at a little fun day in Leicester, and I found out I was working Colt Miles. He was formerly known as the Rookie, or the man formerly known as White Tiger at the time, and I lost. But the whole match itself, it put my mindset into a more competitive mode. And even after the match, he put on his social media, thanked me for the match. Hope he gets to lock up again soon. And to have someone like Colt Miles / White Tiger, somebody who's been against some great names, compliment me like that, despite a tough match and all that, my best efforts, he still complimented me and wanted to work me again. I was absolutely amazed and thankful for that and grateful for it. You know, it motivates me to push myself more and go against more tougher opponents because I never back down from a challenge.
So, are there any funny moments that you've had either in or out of shows?
It will have to. I'll tell you what. One funny moment.
Oh, and the internet goes just as you say that.
Yeah. So I'm not speaking until the internet comes back. Right. I remember like we had me, JK, Joshua Burns, Joe Land, a few others were in a Frankie and Benny's one time, and we convinced the waiter. We told the waiter to Joe Lando's birthday. It wasn't Joe Lando's birthday. So if you've ever been to Frankie Base, they come over with some candle and everybody sings happy birthday and we will give them a standing ovation. They sang over the ovation. That's brilliant. Another one will be the various road trips I've done with J.K. Roberts. I'll laugh. We open up to each other on the road in the car a lot more. You know, we got to know each other personally outside of wrestling, which is nice. It would have to be, what else? Our first ever match at Plex Wrestling. You'll probably remember this. J.K. Roberts came out and slipped on baby oil on his entrance and then came in the ring and slipped on the baby oil twice.
Yeah. Didn't he break his
in
toe?
The ropes. Huh?
Didn't he break his toe or something?
Oh, I think he either burned a part of his hand or there's a massive blister on his wrist. So I had to lend some wrist tape to wrap him around his hand a bit, bless him. Yeah.
That was actually the first time we met each other, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. I was really grateful for being on Plex Wrestling. That was awesome.
Yeah, after seeing some of the names on the show, and like after being offered a chance to do commentary, I was like, wow.
Oh dear.
So let's talk about injuries for a second. What's been your what's been your most serious injury?
What injuries have I had? Well, when I was on a Plexeed wrestling show a few months prior, I took a kick to the head. Looking back at it, I think it might have been a concussion. I went into college the next day, university, so I had a massive, really nasty kick. I couldn't function, couldn't concentrate. I really should have gone to the doctor at the time or taken some time off, but I didn't. I regret that. I was feeling just really groggy the next day, and that was one thing. Another one was I got body slammed by snare on hard wooden floor, which I hurt the lower side. I was still able to carry on wrestling. I just felt I had to be more cautious. Injuries. I don't think there's any injuries that come to mind. Oh, ones, I guess. I'm one of the lucky ones. Touch wood. Nothing else happens.
So, who would you say is your best friend in wrestling?
Sorry, I lost your connection a bit there, mate.
So, who would you say is your best friend in wrestling?
It's going to be the Full House crew. J.K. Roberts, I've known him for years. J.K., Josh Burns, Joe Lando, and Mercer, man, they were my best friends through Full House. I'm very close friends with some of the guys in Elevation Wrestling as well still. List of names I can give off. But if you're watching, so out to you guys. So, yeah.
Right, okay. So we'll finish off with a word association game. So I'll give you 5 names, and then you say the first word that comes into your head. Right. Start off with.
Okay, bring it on. Let's do it.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Bring it on. We're expecting it, but okay, let's do it.
Right. Start off with LT Mercer.
Bald.
Snare.
Gimp mask.
Johnny Storm.
Wonder Kid.
Diamond Dave Andrews.
Bestie. I missed him out. I missed Dave. I missed Dave Andrews on my best friends list. DDA, man. Oh, you know what? I feel so horrible. Oh, I love that dude. I love that dude to bits.
He's good for that.
Oh, I love him.
And last of all, your former tag team partner, J.K. Roberts.
Love.
Sorry, what's that?
Love.
Cut out.
Love.
Right.
L for love.
Brilliant. Well, Grazza Gates, thanks for being my guest on Face to Face.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully before I go, how can people find you on the socials?
Pardon?
How can people find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Grazza Gates. I've got a Facebook page. Just put Party Boy Grazza Gates. I also have Instagram. I believe that's. I have TikTok. Yeah, TikTok my TikTok's Grazza Gates as well. I also have an Instagram. I believe that's also Grazza Gates. I can't quite remember, but yeah, that's all my social medias, I believe.
Brilliant. So, thanks, Grazza, and I'll hopefully see you once we can start doing shows again.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, no, take care.
You too, mate. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.